Hello everyone, my name is Tolushe Francis and this is your first time on my channel. Please do not forget to subscribe. Now on this channel I discuss things related to mental health as it affects everything about you, your productivity, your work life, your relationship, your sex life, name it. As long as it has to do with you, I bring in the mental health perspective into that. And so if this is your first time on this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and also turn the notification bell so that whenever a new video drops, you'll be amongst the first set of people to know. Please go ahead right now, turn the subscription button, and I will join you. Now we go to our future presentation. Don't go anywhere. Now, why setting boundaries is key to relationships is what I want to speak with you about today. Now, healthy relationships, whether romantic, platonic, familial, or professional, are built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. Now, at the heart of these qualities lies one essential element, and guess what element is? Boundaries. Right? Setting boundaries is not just about building walls to shut people out, right? It's about creating a clear space where both individuals, irrespective of the numbers, can coexist safely and responsibly, and also respecting each other's limits and limitations. Now, here's why setting boundaries is so crucial in relationships, and I'm going to share a couple of them, and I will explain along the way. So come with me as we do that. So number one is setting boundaries promotes self-respect and confidence. Now, when you clearly communicate your needs, your values, and limits, you affirm your self-worth, and boundaries are a way of saying I matter, and so do my feelings. And so this self-respect naturally boosts your self-confidence and encourages others to treat you with the same regard. And like I often say, it is how you present yourself that people will treat you. Now the other one is that boundaries foster mutual respect. Boundaries teach people how to treat you. When both parties respect each other's limits, it cultivates a deeper understanding and regard for each other's individuality. Now, this mutual respect strengthens the foundation of any relationship whatsoever, be it platonic, be it professional, be it familial. And so the other point is it fosters self-respect. Now, the third point I want to share with you is that boundaries prevent resentment. Without boundaries, people often end up doing things they don't want to do just to avoid conflict and keep the peace. Now, over time, this can build up into frustration and resentment. Setting clear limits prevents such emotional build-up and keeps the relationship intact, keeps it honest, and also keeps it healthy. So you see people run away from conflict, yet boundaries get breached because they've not been set. Number four is that boundaries encourage healthy communication. Now, establishing boundaries requires open and honest conversations, trust me. And this kind of communication can deepen intimacy and understanding in a relationship. Like I said at the beginning, any relationship whatsoever. Now, it also helps both parties to feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment or backlash. Nobody wants to be judged. Nobody wants to experience any form of backlash. And so it's important that you set boundaries so that that can be prevented. The fifth one is that it protects your emotional and mental well-being. This is very crucial. Boundaries act as a filter for emotional energy. They help you decide what you allow in and what you keep out. Now, this is particularly important in relationships where one party may be overly demanding, manipulative, or emotionally draining. I know that the word manipulative there oftentimes kind of like triggers a lot of people, but it does exist. Now, healthy boundaries protect your peace of mind and allow you to be able to enjoy your relationship. The sixth point I want to share is about clarifying expectations. Now, when people know where you stand, there's less room for confusion or unrealistic expectations. Boundaries reduce misunderstandings and ensure both parties are clear on what's acceptable and what isn't. So you're not just setting boundaries because you feel like, but it allows you to know what's clear and what is acceptable. Number seven is that it supports personal growth. Boundaries encourage both individuals to maintain their identities. You're not losing your identity within that relationship. So rather than becoming over-dependent on each other, boundaries support autonomy and self-development. And these two vital components are the key to a strong, lasting connection where each person can maintain their identity even though they are in a relationship with each other. Setting boundaries also empowers conflict resolution. Not all conflict is bad, trust me. Some can lead to growth if handled constructively. Now, when you set boundaries, it provides a guide rather for resolving disagreements respectfully and constructively without stepping over personal lines. So you're not saying things that are hurtful to the other person and the other person understands where you're coming from. So my final thought on setting boundaries is that boundaries is not about being selfish or controlling, it's about being healthy. Boundaries show that you're emotionally matured. It also helps strengthen your relationships and ensures that both parties feel valued and understood. Now, in the long run, boundaries are not barriers, trust me, but they are bridges through which you allow for stronger, deeper, and more fulfilling and meaningful connections with your other partner. And so it's important that we understand that boundaries are just bridges. They are not necessarily to break any form of relationship, and they're not expected to create a barrier, right? But they're expected to foster a healthy relationship, therefore making both partners who they really want to be. And like I said earlier, it's important to also realize that when you set boundaries, it takes away over dependence and allows for both partners, all right, to be able to interact with each other, maintain their identity, and still be who they are. So once again, I hope that as you go out there, you're able to set those boundaries and you're able to come to that point where you and your partner or those that you work with understand that these are the boundaries, and you're not just setting the boundaries because you want to raise a wall against yourself to prevent them from coming in, but you want that mutual respect to exist, and you want each person to respect their lines. And you see, another problem with setting boundaries is how we communicate these boundaries. Sometimes we communicate these boundaries from a place of I don't want anybody in my space. But trust me, if you communicate it more from a place of love and you communicate from a place of look, this is what I'm trying to do. I just want a situation where both of us are able to interact with each other without necessarily creating rancor and creating strife. The other person would understand and appreciate that you're really trying to make effort towards making the relationship a better one, and not because you just want to block people out. But you hear people say boundaries a lot because they're trying to block people or they don't want people to be in their space. But that's not what boundaries do. And so as we go today, having listened to this message, or even watching this video or wherever you're watching from, I want you to sit back and ask yourself, in what ways have I used boundary setting as a barrier to interacting with people? In what ways have I set up that wall against people, all in the name of me setting up boundaries? And trust me, if you're able to do that audit, you do realize that you are probably not doing well. You're just running away from something as against you setting boundaries for yourself. And so today I come your way again. My name is Francis. Please subscribe to this channel. If this video makes sense to you, please share with everyone. And I would love to hear from you. How are you setting boundaries? And the second question is, what would you say you have gained from setting boundaries? So I come your way again. Stay jiggy.